My name is Florence, and I'm 36 years old. I have a 10-year-old son, Victor, from my first marriage, and I'm married for the second time now. My husband Peter is 38, and we have a 2-year-old daughter named Nancy. Peter and I met 5 years ago through a phone conversation, and I was drawn to him immediately. We talked for weeks before meeting face to face, and when we finally did, there was an instant connection between us. We started dating right away, and everything felt perfect. Peter had never been married before and had no children. My first marriage had failed, but with Peter, I felt happy and hopeful about the future. He was open with me about his past relationships. He told me about a girlfriend he had lived with for 3 years, though they never married. He was the one who ended that relationship. But there was someone else he mentioned, someone from long ago, when he was just 16 or 17, before joining the army. He had fallen deeply in love with a girl. She was his first love, and he loved her with all his heart. But when he went away to serve, she didn't wait for him. She left, and it broke him completely. Peter's mother once told me that he never really got over her. This made me curious, and sometimes I caught a distant look in his eyes that suggested he was thinking about her. I wanted to ask more questions, but I was afraid of upsetting him or dwelling too much on the past. I wanted us to focus on building our future together instead. One day, Peter invited Victor and me to his apartment. When I walked in, I was shocked. The place was run down and desperately needed repairs. The furniture was old and worn out. I couldn't understand why someone who worked would live like this, so I asked him. He gave me a vague answer about living with his parents for many years and not having time to fix things up. Later, his mother revealed the truth. Peter used to spend his days drinking beer with friends on park benches and brought different women to his apartment for brief encounters. He never mentioned any of this to me, and learning about it was disturbing. What bothered me even more was that he still kept a card from his first love, a memory from when she sent him off to the army. One New Year's Eve changed everything. Peter and I took Victor to the city centre to see the holiday lights. As we walked through the crowded streets, Peter suddenly froze. Without a word, he walked away from us and stood alone at a distance. I followed his gaze and saw a woman with her husband. My heart sank. It was her, his first love. He just stood there watching her with such sadness in his eyes. He didn't speak to me for several minutes, and I felt invisible. In that moment, I realized he might still love her more than he loved me. Maybe I had been fooling myself all along. I tried to talk to him about it later. I asked him directly if he still loved her, if he thought about her often. Peter became angry and defensive. He insisted I was imagining things and thinking irrationally, but I wasn't convinced. He continued to mention her in conversations, and I discovered he had been talking to her brother, asking questions about her life, her job, who she was with. Why did he care so much if she was truly in his past? Peter's mother didn't help matters. She often talked about how much Peter had loved his first girlfriend and how devastated he was when she left. Every time she brought it up, I felt smaller, as if my presence in his life didn't really matter. I began to feel like I would never be as important to him as she had been. I was living in the shadow of a woman who had left him decades ago, yet still occupied a place in his heart that I could never reach. Peter grew more distant as time went on. He stopped smiling as much and barely talked to me anymore. I felt increasingly lonely in our marriage. I tried once more to have an honest conversation with him. I asked him point blank if he still loved her. But again, he dismissed my concerns, telling me I was imagining things. I wanted desperately to believe him, but my instincts told me he was hiding something important. I thought long and hard about my life and what I truly wanted. I loved Peter, but I could unshake the feeling that he would never love me the way he had loved her. I couldn't accept being second best in someone's heart. I didn't want to spend my life with a man whose mind was always wandering back to a past love. I deserved to feel cherished and valued. I deserved to be someone's first choice, not their consolation prize. After weeks of anguish, I made my decision. I sat Peter down and asked him one final question. Did he want to stay with me, or did he want to go back to her? He looked shocked and insisted he loved me, but his words felt hollow. I no longer felt his love. I no longer felt important to him. I realized then that I had to choose myself and my children. I told Peter I was leaving. I explained that I couldn't continue living like this, always wondering if I measured up to a ghost from his past. It was one of the hardest decisions I ever made, but I knew it was right. I couldn't raise my children in a home where I felt unloved and unimportant. I couldn't spend the rest of my life competing with a memory. As I walked away, I felt both heartbroken and free. I was finally choosing myself, and that was something I should have done long ago.